Hi and welcome back to part 3 of the video with Roy Jenkins. Incidentally, Roy is going to be standing as candidate for the European Parliament that's coming up in June. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Roy?
Yeah, it's what we're standing for is obviously the corruption fraud. One of the questions we're asking is, for the last 14 years, the auditors have refused to sign the books off, the account books off for the EU government, parliament, whatever. There was a whistleblower, a Spanish MEP, who brought all this up, and if I remember right, Kinnock was one of the MEPs that was on the panel. The whistleblower was demoted, never been heard of since, and the very people that was involved in the fraud and corruption, covering it up, have all been let off. One of the things we've never understood is Mandelson signed a mortgage application which was false. It was lent the money by an MP from Coventry. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Morris or something, not Morris, something like that. Who lent Mandelson the money. We've asked the question. I don't know if anybody's aware, but judges, police officers, and several other people have all been sent to jail for making false declarations in a mortgage application. Yet Mandelson was allowed to get away with it, as he was allowed to get away with the passport fiasco that he was involved in, and also getting a visa for his boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever he was, when he came in from Brazil. This is the sort of corruption that we're trying to expose. We know, obviously, about the money laundering from the Italian embassy in London. I was forced by British Customs to collect money from there as just one place. That was an accidental thing on my part. It was a stupid thing, not accidental. I found a document that I was carrying with the truck I was with, said the value of the goods that I had on board was for £1,200. This is in 1969. When I pointed out to the customs officers in Dover Eastern Dock that one painting alone in the back of I had a 40-foot trailer, one painting alone in the back was worth £250,000. How was I being able to be allowed to go out to the country with an invoice for £1,200 for the full 40-foot trailer? I've absolutely no idea. I do have on tape a gentleman called Don Green, who is with Customs NISC, and he states on the tape that the use of false dual shipping invoices is rife within the community of the office within Customs for the purpose of avoiding paying English taxes. I have asked, as my party have asked, Blair, Brown, Wright, Chief Constables, why has David Milnes, the wife of, I believe her name is Joel, been allowed to get away with using a false dual shipping invoice to move stuff to Italy, as was exposed by Panorama? No charges ever been brought against him in England. He's in court at the moment in Italy regarding Berlusconi, who's some friends of mine are trying to chase him for corruption. We go on to the house. I had a mortgage with the Bradford and Bingley in 1994 when I started exposing the corruption with the fraud, with the money laundering, etc. Suddenly I was in arrears. To this day, the Bradford and Bingley have still refused to answer the questions that Murphy, who was then the ombudsman for the Building Society, asking them where these arrears come from. They've never to this day answered that question. Millions of people are losing their homes. When I was in court, there was a bundle of 32 papers, similar sort of thing. As I was going into the court, the barrister for the Bradford and Bingley handed me 32 documents. He also handed them to the judge. When it was pointed out that I should have had these papers 7 days before, the judge wasn't interested. We have actually shown that H.A.J. Rubery, who works on Stafford courts, and I'm quite happy to stand in front of you, Mr. Rubery, as I've told you, and I've told the people who run the courts the same. You allowed, aided, and abetted the Bradford and Bingley to be in contempt of court. You served on the Bradford and Bingley a court document ordering them to provide the documents, proof of the payment that they claimed in court, and gave another judge, Judge Isley, false documents and paperwork found that every single document they provided to the court was false. There was no payments made to my account. They thought I was just going to walk away and do nothing about it. This is not happening just to me. I'm quite happy now. I'm fighting. I don't have a mortgage anymore. I don't owe anybody anything anymore. But you won't get me to. I want the Bradford and Bingley in court. If you look on the party website, it states on there, before the Bradford and Bingley was nationalised, why didn't Darling or Brown or Tony Wright or the FSA pick up on the fact that criminal acts have been committed in court by the Bradford and Bingley and they've been allowed to get away with it? How many other people have got to lose their homes and their jobs for crooks because that's all they
and
are.
pick up the pieces of again, the corrupt government. We had a conversation earlier on, Roy, as well, about you fear for your safety a little bit, don't you, with what's happening?
Well, let me put it, yeah.
You know, they tried to set your lad up for drugs, didn't they? You've had situations since where you've been followed in your car. You know, we have to mention this and we have to tell the public what the government are capable of when it comes to exposure of the truth. These people, you know, won't stop at anything where the truth's concerned in getting out. You know, and this is why under 6.1 of the Human Rights Act, these people don't believe in democratic rights and freedom of speech, which is why they try to shut DWP corruption down. I had a phenomenal conversation with Roy earlier on, and it's unbelievable. They broke into his house. And what else has been going on, Roy?
Well, when I first started exposing this, going back in 1994, I was shot at twice in Italy. When they shot, they obviously didn't intend to hit me. The idea was
To frighten you.
to frighten me.
Yeah.
My daughter, when she was 14 years old, an attempted abduction was made on her in Finsbury. The car that turned up, they went to the dance and said to the bouncers and to the receptionist, I had sent them to collect my daughter. And I was said to my daughter, because I knew what was going on, but she obviously didn't. She was told never ever to leave anywhere with anybody unless she really, really knew them. Fortunately, the bouncer and the receptionist on the desk wouldn't let her go out to these two people, even though they came back a second time and banged on the door again. Luckily, they took the number, the make, the model, the colour, and the description of the two gentlemen who were in the car. When my daughter came home, I phoned Cannock Police Station, and they sent out someone called John or Paul, I believe his name was. We do have his name, and a WPC. When he found the number through, he suddenly went white, but I could hear what was being said anyway. And they said, the car was registered to West Midlands Police CID. His only question to me was, who have you pissed off at West Midlands CID? When he was asked to investigate, didn't want to know. Chief Constable Sims didn't want to know. I taped a conversation with the DC Tim Green. Again, he didn't know he was being taped, obviously. They wanted to know how my son was. He was told he was just coming up to 15. He was then told that 3 division bosses at West Midlands Police, as far as I remember, were based in Walsall Road, then wanted my 15-year-old son to buy drugs for him. And Green's words were, if he buys the drugs for us, then he will get paid and we will give him a bonus. My son, to this day, doesn't know anything about it. That is incitement. It's a criminal act by a police officer. So we ask the question again, how many people are in jail for crimes they've never committed?
Right. What we're going to have to do is, I think, lucky for Roy, it was probably David Blunkett who got the gun. So we wouldn't have done any good anyway. But DWP corruption, we're finished now with Roy. We're going to be moving on now to Deadbeat for Dads. And keep watching.